AFMC is really known.
That this building will provide ideas
and also make sure
between the office hours.
Welcome to this edition of AFMC TV. I'm Robin Ledbetter. Thank you for joining us. And today I have with me Lori Arnold Ellis, and she is Executive Director of the Red Cross. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
So usually we think about blood donations immediately when we think the Red Cross. Tell us what Red Cross Month is.
So Red Cross Month is an annual tradition where we recognize the volunteers, the blood donors, the financial donors, and any supporters of the Red Cross for helping us, achieve our mission. So our workforce is powered by 90% volunteers, as well as with our blood donors and community partners and other people who support the Red Cross. Red Cross Month started 80 years ago when President Roosevelt in 1943 issued the first presidential proclamation declaring March as Red Cross Month in an effort to raise funds for aid for World War II. And every U.S. president since then has continued that tradition by declaring March as Red Cross Month.
So what exactly, as I mentioned, we talk a lot about blood donations, but there's so much more to the Red Cross. What exactly do you want our audience to know that the Red Cross does?
Well, you are right. We do collect blood. That is not incorrect. We collect 40% of the nation's blood supply, so it is a huge part of what we do, but is by far not the only thing we do. The other thing people tend to think about with the Red Cross is disasters, and we respond to those large-scale disasters as well. In fact, we respond to more than 60,000 disasters every single year. But what people may not realize is the majority of those are residential house fires. So while they may not get the same media attention as a hurricane or a wildfire, these tragedies are huge tragedies for the people who are experiencing them, especially if there's a fatality. So the Red Cross is there to help provide that immediate emergency needs for those people in a disaster, whether it's large or small. We also support our military members, veterans, and their families through a variety of programs. We offer CPR, AED, first aid training, and other life-saving trainings. And with our network of global Red Cross and Red Crescent partners, we're able to provide international relief as well.
That's incredible. How many volunteers would you say on an average Arkansas has at any given time?
We have around 200 volunteers. It's not nearly enough. You would think that sounds like a lot, but considering that in Arkansas, we respond to 3 to 5 house fires every single day, we need volunteers in a big way.
And so, and not just the average, average Joe, I could volunteer. What type of volunteer are you looking for right now?
One thing that we have a huge need for right now is people who are healthcare providers, whether that's nurses, doctors, anybody who has a license to practice healthcare in the state of Arkansas. We need those volunteers to help us with our health support services and our mental health services. When there's a fire, for instance, if a person loses their medication or their medical equipment, we're able to use our Red Cross volunteers who are healthcare providers to get those things recovered, to get those losses brought back. A lot of times the people that we serve don't necessarily have the means or even understand how to get those things recovered. And so having a healthcare provider help them through that process and recover those losses is a huge need that we have right now.
And how would a provider get connected? What do they need to do if they want to start volunteering?
The easy answer to that is go to redcross.org/volunteer today. There'll be several different places where you can list the things that you're able to do, and there will be one that says health services. And I'll also throw in there too that includes mental health care providers. A lot of our people that we serve, as you can imagine, going through a disaster, it's not just the physical toll it takes on them, it's the emotional toll. And a lot of these people don't have the means to pay for counseling services. So our free services make a huge impact on people's lives during these tough days.
And it's not just residential house fires too. You mentioned there are a lot of other services as well. CPR certification?
That's correct, yes. So people can get CPR, first aid, AED training, all the basics. You can also get BLS. Through Red Cross and water safety. We have lifeguarding classes. We even have babysitting classes, and a lot of people remember that from their childhood doing babysitting classes. We still have those too.
So if you had something to tell all providers or any volunteer, anyone that's watching this program, what is the first step they can do to get involved?
The first step is, call the Red Cross or go to the website. Email me, call me, whatever. The first step is just taking the step to do something about it. And I will say that a lot of people find it daunting, or they think it's going to be daunting because there's training involved, but actually it's really rewarding. And while there is some training involved because we need people to understand how we do things and what our processes are, for a healthcare provider or somebody who just wants to help respond to a house fire, who wants to help a service member, it's really easy to do, and the rewards are truly immeasurable.
I can only imagine. How many, on an estimation, how many families, people within the state would you say the Red Cross helps on a yearly basis?
So last year we responded to around 1,400 home fires, and that ends up being, roughly that many people, or that many families, I should say. Sometimes it's actually a little bit more if there's two households living in the same home. So we're talking thousands of people every single year who need a place to go. They need food. They need something to help them with those first steps. And oftentimes they need, a wheelchair replaced or a CPAP machine replaced or any kind of reading glasses, that kind of thing. And of course, they need to know that somebody cares.
And that's not just Central Arkansas.
That's the whole state, correct.
Wow.
And in fact, sadly, Arkansas has one of the highest fire incident rates in the entire country.
Wow, that's shocking.
It is
compared to the
shocking.
whole state or whole country. Wow. Well, I appreciate so much you talking about these specific things that anybody could do to volunteer. What's the last thing, when we say last message, that you would want our audience to know that maybe they didn't know about the Red Cross? Is it to volunteer? Is it to give blood? I mean, what do you really want the public to know?
Those things are important, yes. I want the public to know that they can volunteer, that we need them to volunteer, that we need them to give blood. But what I really want to end on is a quote from Clara Barton, who is the founder of the American Red Cross. She said, the only thing is to see the need and find a way to meet it. And I'm paraphrasing there. She has a much more eloquent way of saying it. But that's really what the Red Cross is about. It's seeing the need and finding a way to meet it. And I just really want to put that out there, that the Red Cross is about communities helping their own communities. And the more people, the more volunteers who are coming in from their communities who can help their neighbors and their friends and their loved ones, that's what the Red Cross is all about. We provide the training, we provide the resources, and the people help each other.
And what kind of time commitment? Is small or as big as you need it to be?
It could be as small or as big as you need it to be. It could be one afternoon helping us install smoke alarms, or it could be taking, a weekly shift of being on call in case we do have a fire and we need someone to help with healthcare supplies or anything like that. So it can be as much or as little as you want. If you only have a little bit of time, we could still use you. If you're retired and you're looking for something to do, we can definitely use you.
Well, thank you so much. Really great information. And I hope not only that you have a lot more volunteers after this episode, but that there are not as many house fires within the state this year, and we are not at the top of the list. Thank you so much, Lori, for joining us.
Thank you.
And that's it for this edition of AFMC TV. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.
During disasters, the Red Cross can use your professional skills as a licensed healthcare provider. Physicians, nurses, and behavioral health professionals are needed to deliver support, hands-on care, and education to those affected. To volunteer, check out the Arkansas Red Cross website. Free online training is provided.